Hey, welcome back to the Gilbertson Aero Factory. Today is Thursday, the 14th of November, 2024. It's almost lunchtime. Got a lot of work to do today. Yesterday I got all the stiffeners fastened, and now it's time to bend the hell out of these trailing edge skins and try to get them down to about a 16.5 degree angle, whereas right now they're probably 80 degrees. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll just get right into it. Thanks for being here. It's great being back. Not only working in the shop, but being able to put out the videos and interact with some of you guys. So thanks again, and let's build an airplane. This was a 6-hour session, so I've got it sped up again, like by a factor of 35. Bending went much easier, I think, than it did when I was working on the empennage, maybe because I was just less afraid of being aggressive. You see that I used a little 1/4 inch wooden dowel in there to make sure that the radius was right, but you can only get so far with that. The stiffeners will actually bite into it, and it takes a little bit of work to get it out. But yeah, getting it down to the correct angle wasn't really that big of a deal. So, next up, it seems like every spar part on this airplane has some reinforcement thing that was added later. And that's what I'm making is a couple of 2.5 by 2 3/4 inch reinforcement plates, a couple like for each spar. So 4 total out of 40 thousandths aluminum. Pretty simple to do. And then you'll clamp it to the ends of the 2 spars and match drill to the pattern that is already in the spar. And it's a lot of holes, and it does kind of make you a little bit cross-eyed because you have a bunch of number 30 holes, a bunch of number 40 holes, and it's different on each end. And yeah, it just after, I think that I'm still a little bit scarred from the very beginning of this project, building the spar for the horizontal stabilizer and all of that sandwich material and the match drilling there, and the couple of times that I messed that up. But this went fine. It's not really difficult at this point. So yeah, getting all of that. Interesting. I found a new set of end ribs, even though I prepped ones yesterday in the tool chest that you see me working out of. I saw some, and they have a date sticker on them. They're from April of 24. They were sort of like a precautionary replacement of laser cut parts. And I don't even think my other ones were laser cut, but I thought, what the heck? I'll use the brand new ones. They're all basically about the same newness. So yeah, there's a bit of prep here to get all of the match drilling done for these doubler plates. What's going to mount where those plates are the aileron attach brackets, which are powder coated steel pieces that come with the kit, and then also the end ribs of the trailing edge skin. So what you're looking at there on the bench is the trailing edge skin for the left aileron. So you could imagine that from where I'm at, I'm looking toward the back of the airplane. That it just has 2 ribs in it, one on each end, and then all the skin stiffeners, and then the spar that you see there will go there. And then on the front half, there's a rounded front skin and nose ribs that will go in that section. That's what we'll get working on tomorrow. Today was a full, healthy 6 hours of just working on these spars. Basically, it didn't seem that long because, believe it or not, we had a 3rd day of good weather in East Texas. So that's one more day of good weather than we had last year. We had 3 this year, maybe a 4th tomorrow, but I'm not really counting on it. Let's see. Oh, okay. I don't have the camera looking over there. You can see the end of that spar sticking out. Those when you do all that match drilling, then you have to grab those brackets that I was talking about, and those need to be match drilled to the spar and the doubler plate up to a number 12 because bolts will be attaching it. And although you can't see it, I'm very pleased with my new drill press. I'd been using a hand-me-down drill press that I was very grateful to have for a long time, and I don't know, sometime this summer, I picked up a new drill press. Very happy with it, and it worked great for this job. It is a little bit awkward working with a spar and all of that business on the drill press, but it has a little thing that slides out like a little support arm on the side. So anyways, that all went better than expected, to be honest. And what are we moving into here? Doing the same thing on the spar for the right wing. And then I was unsure. I wasn't really happy with one of the doubler plates that I made, so I decided to go ahead and just make another one. It's quick and easy to do. So what happens next? While this is going on, so yeah, that's why it's a 6-hour day, because there's a lot of edge finishing and prep and all of that sort of stuff that goes with all of this. You've got those two spar. Okay, so I put the camera out here so you could see what I was doing. I'm going to prime those doubler plates, and I basically throw down some butcher paper on that table and I write on it so that I can keep track of what's what after they have been primed. That's the whole entire reason that I put the camera outside like that and decided that I'm done with that bending break and I can get back into this. And this is just these two spars, edge finishing, which is the long edges, the ends, the lightning holes, and then scuffing it, getting it ready for priming. Normal kind of airplane building stuff for most of this. And get it out there and hung up. I did a pretty good job today, I think, with managing the sequence of events. With that rack that I have now to hang the spars on, I can prime, I can paint both sides at the same time. I don't have to do, whereas everything else I do on the table, I have to do it in two sessions, set a timer for 30 minutes, flip them over, do the other side. So, I was able to stay busy while primer was drying today, moving from one task to another. Ultimately, where we will end up is attaching the doubler plates, riveting them to the spars. And that was a little bit of an adventure. It went well. It was an adventure because, if you recall, I used up all but two of my AN 474-4 rivets, and I need 12 of them to attach those doubler plates. And when I was just about to call it a day and see if Tim would be around tomorrow to grab some, I realized or remembered that when I was building the wings, I had shaved down some rivets because they were just a little bit too long, and I realized that was an option. So I actually had a little bin of just a couple, 4 or 5 AN 474-4.5, meaning I made those up. I trimmed them down from 5s. And so, later on here in the video, you'll see me getting into that, going back and forth to the Scotch-Brite wheel and creating the rivets that I need to get those things mounted. And then lastly, so there are 3 rivets on each doubler plate that are just attaching the doubler plate to the spar. They're not attaching to ribs or anything like that. So I got those on, and then there are on the inboard of both the ailerons for those brackets, there's a nut plate that needs to be mounted, and got that done. I was staring at the plans for a while trying to understand why. The nut plates are mounted with flush rivets, countersunk rivets, but usually when you do that with a nut plate, it's because it's going to be sandwiched, like another piece of material is going to go over it. But for the life of me, I can't see where anything else mounts on the back side of that thing. So I don't know. Anyways, maybe that mystery will become clear to me as I get deeper into the construction of this thing. The camera, the memory card died before I finished, but not long before. I only worked another 5 minutes. So all you missed was the riveting of the nut plates onto those spars. So what I'm left with is the skins, the trailing edge skins are ready, and the spars are ready for assembly. The spars have not been dimpled because they have not been mounted to the skins and final size drilled or anything like that. But I think that tomorrow, if I have time, I'll be able to get into the assembly, and we'll see how far we get with that. But that's it for episode 125. Thanks for being here.